afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, whatever time zone you're in, whatever timeline you're in. Welcome to the darkest one. Welcome to the Geek Tank.
The darkest?
The darkest one.
If we exist. This
the
is
dankest. The dankest
the
time
dankest timeline. That's a good one. I like that. I'm your host this week, Kyle Bradford, and as always, I'm joined by Dave, Josh, but no Nate this week.
No Nate. Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, without Nate, though, how are you guys doing?
I'm okay. Went to a
Just
super
okay?
fun wedding yesterday. Drinking rum and coke right now. It was a pretty
Getting
decent weekend.
getting swifty over here.
Yeah, getting swifty.
Yeah, getting swifty.
Got an
You take a shit on
interview
the
this
floor?
week I'm pretty nervous about. I have no money, so it's like good and bad.
Oh my gosh. I mean, money does push towards those things, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely puts the pressure on.
Yeah, that's true. I saw
But I'm
Suicide
having-
Squad for a second time.
Oh God, you're killing me.
I know.
We ended up not recording the podcast for this, but
yeah.
I don't
doubt
want.
it's in the but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't really want to get into this because then this whole podcast is going to turn into the Suicide Squad podcast instead of the actual Geek Tank podcast.
Suicide cast.
Suicide Cast.
It just starts and then a bunch of people just blow their heads off.
It's just hot topic. That's all it is.
Hot
That's all it's on this
topic.
for.
Yeah, that whole
Right,
movie was like a hot topic ad. They're
It
like,
really was.
come to the store and buy Harley Quinn panties, buy Harley Quinn hats and shirts and bats.
That weirdly rhymed.
I know, kind of. It was like a Tim Burton thing a
You
little
should be
bit,
an advertiser, Josh.
which you can also find
I
at
know, I was
Hot
about to say, just
Topic.
tie it
Hot
back
topic.
around.
Burn it
Oh,
down.
Jesus. Burn it down. Ladies
Hot
and gentlemen,
topic.
we are the Geek Tank, a show where we dive right into the trenches of
episode.
the gaming industry, give you our brutally honest opinions. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud, as well as every other platform every single week. If you are listening to this, please make sure to leave us a like or a favorite. Just let us know you enjoy the show, because whether it's your first or your 15th time listening in, you're an honorary member of the battalion. So without any further ado, let's get into the episode with This Week in Gaming.
Before we start the news, but I just need to check. Can you guys hear my fan?
I don't think so.
Okay. I forgot to ask before we started. I just want to make sure there's no weird sounds going on.
We just dove into it like a
Josh, I've got the
cannonball.
whole band here ready to do the whole intro thing. Can we do this now?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, we've got 7 news stories this week, and with some pretty big news that dropped right at the beginning last week.
Lay it on me.
We got PS4 Neo reveal announcement. It's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So originally reported.
Although they
via
didn't
French-
say that, but we all know that's what it is.
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty clear.
They
Originally,
said something vague like place the future in
didn't-
PlayStation hardware
they-
or some
yeah,
shit
they
like
said
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
But the story goes back a little bit before that. Originally reported via the French gaming website Gameblog and confirmed by Vice Gaming this past Monday. Sony's PlayStation 4 console upgrade, codenamed Neo, will make its official reveal during September 7th's event in New York City. The source said to Vice Gaming that the event would be, quote, a technical showcase of the console. These reports were later verified as Sony sent out event invitations for an event at the PlayStation Theater on September 7th. While stopping short of announcing the Neo would be there, it's clear what the event will pertain to. Let's see, and that's about it. So clearly, we all know what this is. We all know where it's going.
yeah,
Is it going to be just the Neo, do you think? Or do you think
Probably.
I would say that there's nothing else they can really talk about at this point. I mean, the VR has been talked about. It's been priced. It's been put out as its release.
Coming out in like 2 months, right?
Yeah, the Neo
Yeah,
is
it's coming up.
basically
Oh my God, it's only
I
2
could-
months away. That's
Right.
crazy.
What if
Think
they
about that.
What if they come out with a couple of comparisons and then show off like here's like a new trailer for Spider-Man? Not saying that.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I mean,
But then like
Gamescom
they show side by side or something
next
like that.
week
Yeah.
though. Wouldn't it just happen at Gamescom though? Gamescom's this week.
I don't know. Sony's not caring that much about Gamescom, are they?
Oh, that's
This
true.
year?
neither
They don't
of the
really
companies
go.
Are. Yeah, neither Microsoft, or
Microsoft's
I know.
not doing,
cares.
not doing
All I
anything.
know
They're
is
just doing
that
the fan event.
Blizzard's there, Bungie's there, and that's all I know
I'm sure news will come out of
Yeah.
it, but
for
I mean-
sure.
yeah, I don't know. Specific for the Neo, I think. I don't know. I could see it. Sony goes off the wheelhouse a few times. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely an interesting move by them, though. They have never done anything like this before, where they've just called a meeting out of nowhere. I mean, except for the original PS4 reveal, which was kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So that's
I think it does lend to the idea that like they're trying to treat this as a new console, like obviously not a new whole generation where because they've come out and said everything will work backwards and forwards compatible.
Yeah.
But I do think it points to the importance they put on the Neo.
Yeah. To me, they're treating it like a new iPhone, sort of, which I think is the way it should be treated.
Now, speaking of the iPhone, though, are they going to do it the same way that they do the iPhone, where they say the iPhone's coming out and then it's a week, it's like a month later? Like, are they going to do that, or do you think that they're going to announce it and they're going to give themselves a year to put it out?
I think they're going to come out. I mean, originally people were talking about, it's going to come out like at the end of this year and it'll for like PSVR and stuff. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think it's going to come out like around when the Scorpio comes out, which is mid next year or whatever. Yeah,
I had my thoughts that was probably the original plan, was to release it this year, but then when Scorpio started, when they talked about Scorpio, you can tell Sony took the Neo portion of their E3 show out of the conference. You can just tell by the way it ended.
I mean, they said that they didn't, but
well, I mean, they can say whatever they want. They're not under any obligation.
They can.
We're assuming that. We're assuming.
But I mean, we are just assuming. But
I don't know.
It did feel weird though. It did feel weird.
It feels kind of obvious to me, but then again, we can't prove anything, so whatever.
Prove it. You can't.
You can't prove it.
If the glove don't fit, you must.
Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that.
Not the moon. Definitely not.
Not the moon.
Definitely not the moon.
Not the moon, because the moon is fake.
It's made out of cheese.
Get Alex Jones in here. That's what.
Yeah, David Icke. Get them all on a show.
Are you guys still hyped on the Neo? Because I know, Dave, you don't have a PS4. So
yeah,
if you get a PS4, are you going to get the Neo?
So
Might as well.
So this actually, I'm going to lead this into something else too, because we didn't talk about this before, and I know Josh is excited about this, but I'm finally playing Destiny again. And I was maybe about this close. I mean, granted, you guys can't see me, but you know what I'm doing with my fingers. I'm doing the little thing where it's like just a little bit away from.
He's like look how close these sons of bitches
exactly
are.
Like how I pinch my nipples.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine that for a minute. Just how I pinch my nipples.
I think about it every night.
Roll it in there.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I was that close. Kyle's nipples kind of close to getting a PS4 myself, and then this came out, and I was like, all right, that's probably a sign to wait. I'm gonna see
just wait, dude.
Yeah. But if it's gonna be next year, then I probably will pick up an original model and then trade it, because I want to play Persona 5 when it comes out in February. So
yeah, you can't skip that, man.
Yeah, so I can't really. I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place on that one. First world problems. Who gives a crap? But that's the whole reason I didn't.
You could get the PS3 version, I suppose.
No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
don't do that to yourself.
Nah,
that's silly.
It's dumb.
I mean, I'm not a Persona fan, but like,
even though I'm sure the difference is going to be not there, because Persona. I mean, let's be real. Persona's not really going to be pushing any technical limits here.
No, not really. But I still want to see it I still want to see it on PlayStation.
Well, clearly, yes. I mean, it'd be silly if you're going to fucking do that. No.
Yeah, I'd rather see it in 1080p than up-res to 1080p. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Any more thoughts on the Neo though?
I am really interested to know.
I wish Morpheus was still called Morpheus, and then they could just come out with the Morpheus and the Neo. It really bums me that they're not doing that.
Dude, I did not even make that comparison.
You never knew that?
I have never made that comparison.
Oh my god!
I didn't.
I'm disappointed in you guys.
Fucking blown.
That's been the joke the whole time.
I've never heard anyone
all the PlayStation internal codes are all fucked up.
They do all in the Matrix, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Was there a Trinity, or am I imagining that?
I don't think so.
The Trinity was like, we're gonna run Vita, PS3, and PS4 at the same time. I don't know.
That's probably the best you can get. I mean, there probably was never a Project Trinity.
Is there a
PlayStation? Next one's gonna come out.
What about Project Work?
Now that Neo is out, get ready for Project Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you it's like a Vita TV successor or something. Because Vita clearly means life.
Vita TV is... I still think about Vita TV and kind of giggle to myself, because it's like this thing that everyone wanted, but then nobody had the balls to buy.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like...
So true.
I think
they should bring it here. I'd buy one.
Yeah.
And then they didn't
and then no one did.
No one fucking bought it.
You can still buy one for like $40 if you want.
I know, you can get them like $30. Like, I remember it was so funny because there were all these Vita TV sales for like $30 around Christmas, and
I remember that
like fake Kaz Hirai account tweeted out like, if anybody wants a free PS Vita TV, we've got a ton of them in the dumpster out back or
I think I
whatever.
remember that tweet. Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, the Vita, man. I kind of sad that console kind of what happened.
Dude, it's so sad. It's like the greatest handheld.
Such a
ever.
great, yeah, it's
And
such
it's
a
got,
great
like,
piece of
The
tech.
crappiest, like, it is a really sad story. But
And now that it's been hacked, I'm kind of like reconsidering, like maybe I'll buy another one so I can hack it. Cause
there may
if
be
it could have a lifespan like the PSP, where you can just
'cause
run
of
emulators
homebrewing.
and shit on it.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I still concede that the PS Vita has a pretty great library because it fits all my weeaboo needs.
It
But
does.
It's got like the best RPG I've ever played pretty much on it, so I'm pretty good, with its
true.
library. Persona 4 Golden.
yeah, Golden's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go back to my head and I'm trying like, should I buy P4 on PS2 just to have it? But I'm like, you know what? Golden's so great. So I
About to
don't
say,
know.
if you have Golden, like, there's really no reason to get 4, because I mean, Golden just adds stuff, and then it changes one of the voice actors.
I
but
do
other
want to
than
get
that-
3. I do want to get 3.
I've tried
because
3, and it's
I have it on the PSP remake of it,
yeah.
but that changed a lot of stuff. So I want to go back and see FES on the PS2. So
Yeah, hopefully they port that to PS4 for like as like part of like their digital console or whatever.
that would be dope.
Because you could get it on PS3 as like a PS2 classic.
Man, we could talk about for hours how sad I am that like the PS1 classics and like the PSP stuff, like how you can't get that on a PS4. That makes me so mad.
Yeah.
But I digress.
I think they're. I actually think that if they do end up going this route, like the Neo and all the consoles after it are just going to be like a singular platform that they just like that maybe there just will never be a PS5. Like they'll just keep updating this console like every couple of years. You know what I mean?
I would
Not
hope,
like-
but like PSN's too fucked up. I don't think they can really sustain that. I think they would need a whole overdrive on everything, server end to back end to everything.
No, I just realized something.
I think they could do it. I don't know.
If they can't let us change our names,
Yeah, well, that's a whole different topic.
just saying. Yeah.
I really want to change my name like really badly.
Me too.
What's your PSN name?
My PSN name is Pack Punk, but like because I used to use that name, but then when I switched to Jawa Josh, I had my great rebranding. Like everything now is Jawa Josh. But
Except
like
for that
that's
PSN.
the only thing,
Yeah.
like because I can't change it. So like it's funny because on my Bungie, like we've been recruiting for our new clan lately. I've been having to recruit all these people. Our clan's been growing a lot for the new Destiny expansion, and like on Bungie, my name is Jawa Josh, but like when we go back to PSN, it's Pack Punk, and so many people have no idea that we're the same person.
Yeah, have that whole
That's
awkward
hilarious.
conversation.
Who's this fucking
Yeah.
Pack Punk guy?
I've been in
Who's
parties
Josh?
with
Pack
people
Punk,
that are in my
motherfucker.
clan that are like, that Jawa Josh guy needs to fix this thing, and I'm like, that's me, right? Like,
That's so funny. Oh my god,
So,
that's
like,
great.
fucking Shuhei. Like, but yeah,
Shuhei Yoshida, please.
it's
But,
all Shuhei's fault. He was
yeah,
the
exactly.
fucking programmer there.
He's the singular guy.
Yeah,
It's all
he
his
should have
fault.
seen this coming.
There's
All
no one
his
else working at
fault.
Sony.
Yeah.
It's just Shuhei.
It's just Shuhei in like a giant corporate building all by himself.
What a sweetheart that guy, though.
Yeah.
All right,
Nice dude.
let's see. Moving on. Next news story. Nintendo patent corroborates controller rumors. So I know we talked about the Wii U a whole bunch, but I figured this was an interesting bit of news.
You mean the NX?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. Wow, I'm out of it today. I got a sinus headache, and it feels like my eye's about to explode out of the side of my
hate
face.
those. Those are the worst.
Yeah, it's throwing me off my game.
That sounds
definitely.
fun.
I know, just a blast. Thanks to a few eagle-eyed NeoGAF users, we now know of 3 recent U.S. patents made by Nintendo that corroborate earlier rumors from Eurogamer that claimed the upcoming NX to have a tablet-like screen with detachable controllers on each side. 2 of the patents relate to gesture and movement controls on the device, while the third patent is an example of an accessory that can be attached to what was called an information processing device. With the console approaching its proposed March release date every day, it's only a matter of time before Nintendo finally reveals the machine for themselves. Another interesting bit of news that came out of this too, don't know if you guys have seen this, but apparently there's some discussion about NVIDIA making a brand new Pascal Tegra chip for the NX, which in theory should be comparable to the Xbox One, at least when the NX is docked. So the idea being that
when it's docked, so it would take a hit to performance when it's not docked.
I would assume just because battery life and stuff like that. Like, Again, this is all theoretical, but at least on the technological side, when it's docked for porting games from PS4 and Xbox One to the NX, it shouldn't be that big of a problem. So again, this is all just more rumors and stuff, but man, I'm ready for them to talk about it. Jesus.
Me too, yeah.
I mean,
they at least just announced
there's no way they're
Direct is
making that
happening.
March date.
Dude, this thing's almost 6 months away, and we know literally nothing about it.
Yeah, they've never said anything official on it except for once saying it's happening, and then repeatedly saying it's happening in financial reports.
And then it's like, there's like 3 confirmed titles total.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to say there's more, like
Dragon
maybe
Quest,
4 or 5 now, but
Dragon Quest 12 or 11.
Dragon Quest 11.
11.
Yeah, because 10.
I thought they were bringing 10 stateside. I thought that's what it was. Is that not it?
10 is
the
coming to
MMO.
Wii U, right?
Oh,
is that what the news was?
So they are actually bringing that stateside, but it's not an NX game.
No, I don't think it's coming stateside. I think it's just getting ported in Japan. I may be incorrect, but
I thought they were bringing that over. Okay, I don't know.
This, right? We talked about this outside of the podcast, but
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got new Dragon Quest. We have Just Dance. We've got Zelda. Maybe you're right. Maybe that is it.
It's a stellar launch.
I thought it was those
right
3.
there.
Yeah.
Absolutely stellar launch lineup.
Yeah, but wasn't the rumor that there would be a Zelda, a Mario game, and something like all within the first 6 months?
Yeah, they said within the first 6 months, Zelda, Mario, Metroid.
Well, I mean,
coming.
there hasn't been a mainline Mario game since 3D World, and that was 2 years ago.
I would argue that fact. I would say Galaxy 2 was the actual last mainline Mario. I'm one of those goofballs.
All right, fine. You have your thing, Kyle. I liked 3D World.
Like how Colin on Kind of Funny was like, oh, 3D World's not like a 3D game or whatever, and they're like, it is. What?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's the thing. It's a semantical argument, and it's super dumb.
That was a weird argument.
This is the hill I'm going to die on.
You're also
this is the one.
I'm talking about the same.
I mean,
guy.
I get what he was trying to say. He was like, it's not like a true Mario game because it's not. It was more like a Mario Party game when I played it. Almost.
I mean, it's a great game.
I'm not going to that way, really.
But
because it like the 4-player. I think it's the 4-player co-op. Like.
Yeah.
Because it was all kind of designed around that, and that's why I called it a party game. I didn't mean it like as a derogatory thing. Like, oh, it's not that hard.
It feels to me in the same vein as like it's an in between like the Super Mario Brothers Wii U game, and 3D Land is like a step up from that. But I don't feel like it's a full step to mainline. But again, just a personal semantics thing. It doesn't fucking matter. But
no.
But anyway, this patent.
Yeah, I'm interested to know if the Tigre chip rumor is true. The patent itself, I think, is just further corroboration that like I want to reiterate, I'm not hyped up on this the way Nintendo does like these gimmicky stuff. I'm just
I don't like that stuff either.
I've constantly defended the NX and said that I think there's a possibility it can survive. But I just if they pack in a Pro controller and let everything play on that, I'm sold day one. But we'll see.
But it just needs to not be beefy like the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. I think like people like the gamepad, but I'm telling you, there are huge problems with it. Like
it's battery life.
Not even that. Not even that. Like it's too damn big, which is funny because like my girlfriend has tiny hands. She can barely play with a DualShock 4. She complains about it all the time. She's like, my hands hurt.
My girlfriend does the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like I can't imagine kids like trying to play Wii U. Like they must have a horrible fucking time. Cause, like,
I don't know. I think they probably love tablets and shit, And I think the hunkiness is probably a big factor. If they're able to thin that thing up, maybe. Yeah. But again, going back to this Tegra rumor, if this thing is perhaps powerful enough that when it's docked anyway, it's going to be able to be comparable to these other consoles. I don't know how thin it could be, but
we'll see. I'm very, very intrigued.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty much all you can say about it at this point.
Yeah.
I'm interested, but you got to tell me something, Nintendo.
At this point, I just want them to announce the direct already. I mean, I'm done with the whole reverse thing. I really am.
Yeah, I just want concrete information. I'm really tired of
just show the damn thing already, Nintendo. Jesus.
I either show it or just say, listen, it ain't coming out till like 2 years later. We lied.
Yeah.
Because like this shit's getting ridiculous. But
it is.
Again,
I know because I kind of want a 3DS because I want to play like Sun and Moon and some of the other. Like I've never had a 3DS, So like
There's a
I'm
ton of
kind of like,
features.
I might buy one of these, but I'm like, if the NX is coming out and it's like
Exactly.
that, then it's like,
Yeah.
why even?
If it's gonna fill the 3DS
Well, I
spot,
mean,
then it's gonna be like I'm buying a.
Well, I mean,
What do
Josh,
you
just
call it?
kind of go about the way I'm going about the Neo. Just like if they
Yeah, exactly.
if they're probably going to say something in September, hopefully.
Yeah, but at least
they
with the
don't-
Neo, you know that you can buy all the PS4 games that already came out.
Right.
There's like a giant 3DS catalog that Josh won't be able to get to, which is the same problem I'm having because I want to play a bunch of RPGs and stuff like all the Fire Emblem games that came out and
Yeah.
Bravely Default, all those games. There's a ton of games I want to get to that I may not be able to till I purchase it secondhand somewhere. We'll see. But yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of things that are constantly in the news, No Man's Sky back in the headlines again. This is not as much a specific story as just more like a combination of different things. So I'll read you a little thing. So the European limited edition of the highly anticipated space exploration game No Man's Sky seemed to have an odd addition on the back of the box. A sticker on the back showed the game's European PEGI rating, but underneath the sticker revealed an icon for online play, which the game does not currently support in its full capacity. However, on the game's launch day, 2 players attempted to meet up in the game while streaming to Twitch, only to realize they couldn't see each other in-game. Sean Murray, the game's director, said on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert that players could indeed run into each other in-game, but the chances of that are incredibly rare. He has since stated on Twitter that player interaction may expand, but is currently in the state it is due to heavy server loads. This all follows a confusing communication between the game's developer, Hello Games, and the broader public, as online and multiplayer functionality has been a question from the game's launch, or game's announcement, I'm sorry. So, I don't have No Man's Sky. I think Nate's the only one of us who does, unless you guys got it.
Not here.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very, very confused on all this stuff. Because from the game's announcement, I was under the assumption that it was a giant, big game. But then it was later clarified to me that like it's not an MMO at all. You don't have any interaction really. What it seems like, at least right now at the time of recording, is that you can name a planet, and you can it'll upload to the instance like that everyone goes to, and so you can see someone else named a planet at this day and time. But that's about it. And I think you can make buildings and stuff because there's creating elements.
Yeah, I had heard that. I had heard that too. That like eventually they want it to be like Minecraft-ish, where you're building fortresses and stuff like in planets, but we'll see.
I think it's a little weird just because of the muddledness around this whole thing. Like at launch, I don't understand why at least Sean Murray or Hello Games in general just didn't come out and say this is what you can do, this is what you can't, this is what you will be able to do, or this is our plan. Like at least figure out like a way to communicate what is up and running at current, Yeah.
Right.
Because I think there's a lot of people that ran into.
I think a lot of it was they just wanted to leave a lot of it like mysterious, so that you got to explore it all and stuff. And I can appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
I'd be okay if they left like content in the game, but like the experience, like the actual functionality of the game being a mystery, is a little weird to me. I don't know. I feel bad for them too, because like. It's very clear people are liking this game a lot, and like it's just been it's had this unfair narrative, I think,
Yeah.
From the get-go, it was like, oh, it's going to be great, and then a big narrative falling out from that was just, it's not going to live up. Chill your hype. Don't get it.
Yeah.
Just relax. And it's like, this game sounds
fun. But I haven't
fun.
really heard anyone, like everyone I know who's bought it says that like, yeah, it's not the be-all end-all game ever, but it's really relaxing to play like after my work day when I have some like booze.
I hear it's a good podcast game. Like listen to a podcast, like for instance, the Geek Tank, which comes out every Tuesday. That you get to do. But yeah, I hear it's a good game for that.
I want to play it. I just don't really have any money right now, and I heard the PC version had some issues. But
oh really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they patched a lot of them, but I think it's still having a couple of issues, so I'm kind of waiting a little bit, but...
I mean, that makes sense then, I guess, for the 2-3 day delay? However long it was.
Yeah. They had a day one patch out like a couple hours after it launched, which I think was the patch that they were probably working on, and maybe it got a little delayed, but... yeah, I'm still excited for it. I still am going to play it. I just kind of need some money.
Yeah, I just need to clear out more stuff. Like, it totally seems like a game I'd love to play. Maybe I probably won't get to it till like next year, but I do want to try it out.
Yeah.
Get to
The
it.
other good thing about it is it's like so low pressure. It's not like something you
Right,
have
yeah.
to beat because like you
Yeah.
need to talk about it. It's like there's no ending. You just kind of do it, you know?
Yeah, it's not like The Witcher when it came out and everyone's like, "Oh God, how am I going to climb this mountain in time to talk about it for stuff?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for anyone who had to review The Witcher. Like, that's,
Oh my God, seriously, man.
I probably wouldn't have even finished it by the time
Yeah, me
I wrote
neither,
my
man.
review. I'd have just been
I
like,
just push 40 hours in and be like,
I'd be like,
get it.
even if the ending sucks, this is probably how I'd still feel, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's most RPGs to be honest, though. You know.
It explains
You
the
gotta
Mass
get
Effect
his-
3 ratings. Boom.
Ouch. Shots fired.
I'm gonna I'm not gonna open this can of worms, but I didn't think that ending was that bad.
I think the game itself is bad in general, it wouldn't have changed my opinion.
I'm gonna just.
I like Mass Effect 2 and 1 a lot.
Josh and I both have the hand on the can of worms. We're not letting it out.
Anyway,
Let it
to
out!
talk about Mass Effect 3. Let's see.
We don't want to have this discussion.
We don't have any Andromeda news to segue into.
Yeah,
True.
I was gonna say that when we have
Other than
like
the fact that nothing is happening on it.
yeah.
I know.
Jesus.
Anyway,
Moving on to the next news story. Microsoft acquires interactive live streaming service Beam. Microsoft reported in a blog post on Thursday that the tech company had acquired Beam, the live streaming service that has a heavy emphasis on not only passive viewing, but also real-time participation with streamers as well. Beam CEO Matt Salzamendi wrote in a Beam blog post, quote, "As a part of the Xbox team, we'll be able to scale faster than we've ever been able to before. It's not certain how Microsoft will implement Beam on the platform and if it will continue its relationship with Twitch, but the acquisition does point towards an interesting future on the platform. Interesting thing to note, this is not the same Beam as, what is that fucking YouTuber guy's name?
Beam?
What is it? No, his name is not Johnny Beam.
Johnny Beam.
Casey Neistat. He's a really super famous YouTuber right now.
Hey, Colin.
He does
I play-
blogs, but he
my name's
owns a
Johnny
company
Beam.
called Beam.
Gotcha.
But yeah, not to be confused with that one because that's like a video sharing platform.
So it's like a bunch of interactive.
It seems like it.
streaming.
I haven't seen it before. Never heard of it before.
I've never heard of it either. It's probably because it's like very.
It seems like a newer startup, more under the radar than Twitch, clearly.
Yeah.
But I think the idea of it is interesting, especially with the rise of, like, Telltale's Batman, for instance, that has some interesting streaming possibilities, right?
Hang on, I'm on their website right now. I'm trying to figure out.
I've heard. I'm not totally clear on this, but I've heard that like you can maybe make choices with the crowd or something like that. It's weird.
yeah, it seems strange. I mean, it
I
seems
love the idea though.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll read you
Yeah.
I'll read you sort of what they've got. So it says interactive live stream. Streaming is awesome, but as your channel grows, it becomes increasingly difficult to engage with thousands of chatters, and smaller streams aren't as fun as they could be for viewers. We've crafted a platform to give viewers a window into the streamer's gameplay by coupling visual controls with our real-time streaming protocol. We're changing the way streamers interact with their audience, and they have like apps that you can download basically. So it's like visual controls, too long didn't read. I appreciate that they have that. We let viewers control aspects of gameplay seamlessly. Zero delay streams, less bandwidth, no flash required. Earn points,
Zero
level
delay.
up, and unlock upgrades as you play. Everything you need to foster an awesome community. So like just a bunch of like random things. And then they have like iOS, Android, Chromecast, Apple TV apps. So it sounds like a thing for streamers to get their audience just more engaged.
I like
basically.
this idea a lot, especially
And because-
since like streaming is becoming so much more popular.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
just to watch, but to do.
Yeah, and Beam isn't. It seems to me it's not like a Twitch competitor. It's like a thing for you to like enhance your Twitch or your YouTube streams or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
So
Makes sense.
I think why Microsoft bought them is because, you know, like people stream
Implement that
directly from
technology.
Xbox and stuff. So I bet they're
Right.
gonna announce like next E3, oh, we have Beam like in here. So now we have all these games where like people can choose. Like, for example, if you were a big Destiny streamer and you could be like, all right, you can choose my loadout and my subclass in my next Crucible game, and like all the viewers vote on like what they want to see and stuff.
I
Like,
love this.
cool.
I love coupling this idea with. Do you guys remember at E3 when they announced like all of the competitive platform stuff that they were doing with Xbox Live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this has some interesting possibilities.
Exactly.
Who knows what we'll get?
Yeah, because you could
the
get
acquisition
like
just happened, but
you could get like votes on like play of the game or something.
right.
Or
Yeah.
you could get like a bunch of just. Yeah, this is interesting.
Or this is actually kind of cool. You know that Rocket League Rumble thing they just announced, where like you can have like the tornadoes and the punching bags and stuff fly out. What if the audience could control when those happen?
Oh, I love that.
Kind of like
Yeah,
BattleBots-esque, you know?
Yeah. It reminds me of like, fuck, what is that game?
BattleBots.
No, Battlefield. Whenever they had the commander stuff, but
Yeah.
because like there's been games that have been accompanying that sort of stuff in the second screen space, but
Right.
since that trend is sort of over, I think this could be an interesting way to sort of add that third person into the environment, especially since it's going to be like a community that's watching the game. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
could be super cool. I'm really interested in the possibilities, but we'll see
This is interesting stuff.
for sure. Any more thoughts on Beam?
Sounds cool.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued. Let's just put it that way.
Right on. Moving on to a little bit more of a depressing topic, which is actually going to tie into our topic of the show. So a little tease for the later. Yes, exactly. But Pokemon fan game, Pokemon Uranium version, finally launches, only to be shut down.
No.
I got it before it got shut down.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Fan project.
It's already like the fact that it's already. I got that Metroid game before it got shut down too, but like. I was having a conversation about this.
Hold on, are you getting into the topic?
Yesterday. Oh, is that the topic?
Yes, that's the topic.
Yeah.
Sorry, well, then I won't say anything. I will save it.
Keep it in your pocket. Keep it in your pocket.
There you go.
Get back to
okay. All right. Put it back in the bottle.
in the bottle. All right.
Okay.
A fan project that's spent more than 9 years in the making. Pokemon Uranium version has finally officially launched an ambitious game that boasts a darker storyline, brand new world, and more than 150 brand new original Pokemon to catch. Pokemon Uranium has caught a lot of attention. However, just as the fan remake of Metroid II earlier this week, which Josh just pointed out, Pokemon Uranium is no longer available through the developer's official website. After multiple sites hosting the game received takedown notices from Nintendo, the developer reached out via a statement on their official site, quote, "While we have not been personally contacted, it's clear that what their wishes are, and we respect those wishes deeply. Therefore, we will no longer provide official download links for the game through our website," unquote. While third-party sites may still host the game, the development team urges players to be extremely cautious when downloading from unofficial sources. So, like we said before, we're going to dive into this whole thing later, but specifically Pokemon Uranium. Josh, you said you played it.
I did.
What do you think?
I think it's super interesting. I mean, it's basically a hacked version of Ruby and Sapphire. Like, it has all the same kind of like UI stuff and some other things. Although it has its own 150 like unique Pokemon with all their own animations. Wow. You can be male, female, or gender neutral, which I find really interesting.
That's really cool.
You actually don't name your rival in this game, which I found interesting too. And instead of just picking,
focused, right?
Yeah, and instead of actually just picking your Pokemon outright, you take a personality test. Then they give you a Pokemon. So like,
that's interesting.
So I took a personality test and I got given this like green cat, and it came out and I was like, meow. I don't remember its name, but like, really interesting. I think really forward-looking like Pokemon game that I think is super fascinating. Whether or not I put any more like time into it, probably not. I just kind of tinkered with it a little bit just to see what. Yeah. And I love Pokemon, but I was just like, this is cool.
Right.
But I get why people are super excited, and I get why also people are mad, which we'll talk about later. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I definitely think people, if they want like a Pokemon game, like if you're waiting for Sun and Moon and you want a Pokemon game to play now, definitely seek this out because I think it's super cool.
Right on. So find it. I'm sure there are still downloads.
There's some place to find it, yeah.
That aren't super.
You can't. So. It's already been out of the bottle. You can't put it back in. It's like the Metroid remake. You're gonna be able to get that on like every ROM site ever. So it's fine.
Man. What a story though. 9 years.
What a story, Mark.
9 years of work done in 9 minutes.
Yeah. But I mean, since it's free, it's out there. So. All right. Before talking any more about this one, let's move on to our next story. Nordic Games rebranded as Nordic THQ. Yep. THQ may be nothing more than sold assets in an empty grave to some of you, but Nordic Games is changing that. After THQ's bankruptcy and liquidation in 2013, Nordic Games were one of the many buyers that took interest in the library of games and made headlines by jumping from a small-scale publisher to a AAA multi-platform global publisher overnight. They now own Darksiders, MX vs. ATV, Red Faction, and Titan Quest, among many non-THQ branded games.
Oh man, please make a new Titan Quest.
Make a new Red Faction.
Oh, that'd be dope.
MX vs. ATV!
Don't they still make those?
For it, sure.
Or am I crazy?
Do what?
Am I crazy? I feel like they still make those.
The last one I remember came out on the 360, but I mean, it's not like I pay attention to that game.
Maybe I'm nuts. Somebody out there likes those.
Somebody's hardcore about it. Their official count, by the way, the publisher's official count, according to VentureBeat, is more than 250 actively sold games, like franchises that they work on. CEO of Nordic said in a statement that, quote, THQ Nordic is meant to represent a core approach of doing much more than owning a highly competitive portfolio of IP. It revolves around cherishing them and aligning them with the very best development resources to expand with the level of experience that communities and established fan bases expect and deserve, unquote. So THQ is sort of back.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it now.
I just want Darksiders 3. We've been talking about this game forever. It's like, can we just get it?
Yeah, we'll see. This seems pretty likely because I would say out of the couple of THQ brands that they got, I would say Darksiders is number one.
Yeah. Well, Nordic has had said they've been working on Darksiders 3 forever. I'm just like, when is that gonna see the light of day? Because I love Darksiders. I think it's such a cool. It just oozes cool. It's just like a really cool franchise. It's cool.
It's aight.
2, sure, you can make the argument that 2 is like not all that special. I'll agree. Like, there's problems with 2. I think Darksiders 1 is like dope incarnate.
I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm definitely not saying I'd rather just play Zelda, but I'm definitely not saying it, if you get what I'm saying.
But it's like you could play Zelda and God of War at the same time.
I hate God of War.
Oh, see, I love God of War.
But Darksiders is totally cool. I'm just giving you shit.
That's cool.
Yeah, Nordic Games, based out of Finland, I want to say.
One of those countries. I went Nordic Games.
They're based in Vienna.
Clearly, yeah. Do what?
They're based in Vienna.
Based in Italy?
Vienna.
Oh.
Austria.
Well, clearly.
Yeah.
So, clearly, what I mean to say is that Europe is getting pretty crazy on the game development scene. Because, I mean, CD Projekt Red, clearly, one of the biggest developers out there. Nordic THQ expanding rapidly. This is going to be like probably one of the first big AAA third-party publishers that's going to, if we're reading this statement correctly, is going to mean that they're going to be pretty hardcore about producing some content. Maybe I could see some sort of shift. I don't think America's ever going to get toppled, for instance, but I think Europe is about to get much more attention over the
I'm excited
years.
to see them doing this. This is really exciting that Europe is building its developers up and publishers up.
Absolutely.
It's just another thing to add to the gaming industry. It's
awesome. Nothing but good news. Nothing but good news.
But I can just see it now, Kyle. I can see Gamescom. It's happening relatively soon, right? So, what was that, like next week? Or
it's this week.
It's this week. Wow.
Yeah, it's this week. Yeah.
I need to catch up. Anyway,
starts like Tuesday.
THQ Nordic just comes out on stage and says, "We know what you wanted, and we're giving it to you." WCW versus NWO World Tour 2. The crowd goes nuts.
I have a question, actually. Do you think they'll just reboot Darksiders at this point?
Probably.
I would prefer that, just because they've only got 2 more games they can do before it's
just like they need
to do something else.
They would reboot Red Faction if they were going to do that too.
Red Faction, I think, needs a good reboot.
Yeah. So for originally Darksiders, the game was supposed to be like a Diablo-esque game, sort of like 2, except it had 4-player co-op where you all played the 4 horsemen and leveled up characters. Yeah, but then it turned into you just played as War and it was Zelda. And then for number 2, they were like, "Oh, let's try and do that again. Let's do the Diablo thing with the loot," which I thought was actually a cool part of the game. I just think the game, its open world, kind of sucked. which is why a lot of people didn't like Darksiders 2, because it was just this giant empty void. But I'm interested to see if they just do Darksiders 3 or if they, just try again, like they just do it again. Like, and if they do it again,
which would you prefer?
Which would I prefer? Either.
Yeah.
I really like Darksiders as a franchise. I wouldn't care. I would get it if they were like, we're gonna do this again, like our own way. It's been many years,
Right. Yeah.
I would understand. Darksiders is not like high art. Like, I'm not gonna be offended if they, try again.
Right.
So.
I think it's got a big well of creative ideas that you can throw in there, though. Good franchise to have.
For
Any
sure.
more thoughts on THQ Nordic?
Destroy All Humans 2. Make it happen.
Is that a THQ game?
I think so.
It was.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I'm into that.
Dude, yeah, I'm
on the wiki. I'm on the wiki right now. That's how I found out about WCW.
Good move.
Best N64 game ever.
Random cuts. Oh god. Okay.
It's not a random cut. I played that game anyway.
I have a fucking okay. All right. Next news story, which is on the 7th. That's funny. Maybe that's on purpose. Who knows? Final Fantasy 15 may be delayed. So Final Fantasy 15, which began development as Final Fantasy Versus 13 in 2006, has been in development for nearly a decade. Thankfully, the wait is nearly over, as it is due to release at the end of next month. However, thanks to a report from Gamenesia, the long wait may just be a little longer. According to Gamenesia, a source within GameStop's management claimed that Square Enix topped off the company about the incoming delay of 2 months, from September 30th to November 29th. Promotional materials reportedly show the new date that are not meant to be displayed until after Sunday, August 14th, which is the day we're recording this episode. Further images seem to show instructions for an assembled standee and a sticker applied to the corrected release date via Gematsu, corroborating Gamnesia's story. Seems pretty likely.
So, with that, on a level of 1 to Dust Guy, how disappointed are you? That was a bad way to phrase that.
I like Dust Guy.
Yeah, you like Dust Guy, that's right. On a scale from 1 to... What's something you're disappointed in? Never mind, fucking... Are you disappointed, Kyle?
Are you saying 1 is like not at all and 10 is very much?
Yeah.
I would say about an 8. Because, like, I would say a 10 normally, but it's like,
I find this incredibly likely.
Yeah. I mean, if you had told me this maybe 6 months ago, I would say
I'd
no
have been
way.
like, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have said no way. Not just because, like, the amount of time that's already gone into it, but just, like, they seemed to be pretty transparent. Like, they seem to be pretty on the ball and be like, listen, we understand we need to get this out. We're aware of the issues that's going on. Like, we're doing good work. And so it's not a big delay. It's not like, half a year or whatever. I'm surprised that they didn't announce this maybe last month if they needed the delay. But, I mean, we all know how game development goes. No Man's Sky's been in a lot of heat just for this sort of crap.
Yeah.
So I think the big, obviously, laughing point that a lot of people are going to point to is like, look, it's been in development for 10 years and now it's still getting delayed. But aside from that fact, I think it's, make the game good. I don't want to fucking... It's been 10 years. You can't have it come out and be trash.
I think what's just funny about it is that they had this whole thing about the release date, like a whole event to talk about its release date.
And it doesn't even matter.
And then they delay it.
What's really funny about that announcement was they tried to make a joke, right? I don't know if you guys remember, because the announcement of... the release date got leaked ahead of the announcement.
Yeah.
And then in the announcement, they tried to make a joke where, like, the date was, like, November, I think, and then it changed to September. It was like, oh, look, we're going to give it to you earlier than you thought. Oh, like, little thing. And now it's just like, nope, it's going to be even later. That is funny.
Boy.
There's a new trailer that comes out during Gamescom, and it's like that one where they show the Versus 13 logo blow up, and it turns into 15, but now it turns into, like, some other thing. And
it turns into Final Fantasy 20.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
What? And then everyone on Earth looks down and they've grown like a beard and like years have gone by.
It's just that picture of like the skeleton on a couch, just like waiting for OP to deliver.
Oh yeah.
Man. So yeah, I mean,
that's funny.
I've been both very high and very down on this game in the recent past, but I'm just I just want it to be good. So take your time and do what you need to do.
Am I selfish? I kind of want it to get delayed so that it's out of the way of Rise of Iron.
That would be nice.
But,
I mean, not to choose.
I was talking to my brother about that too, because he's a big Destiny guy, and so I was telling him like, yeah, like Rise of Iron's going to come out, and then the next week, this game will perhaps come out, you know, unless these rumors are true. So now, yeah, if I guess what else is coming out in November? Do we even know?
I have no idea.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. So maybe it's going to be
Doctor
more
Strange.
I'm fucking hyped for that movie though, man. Jesus
yeah, it
Christ.
looks like a superhero movie taking place inside a kaleidoscope. It's kind of cool.
Oh my god, it's perfect. It feels like someone who watched Inception while high on acid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, what if this had like wizards in it?
What if it had fucking wizards? What if his Wi-Fi password was a joke? That's the whole
Shambhala. They're not savages.
Get it? Anyway, Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Fucking shit. I lied though about the 7 news stories. We've got a bonus one for you guys.
Oh, we do?
Jammed it in last minute. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do, baby. Destiny art leaks possibly hint towards Destiny 2 artwork. While Destiny's latest expansion, Rise of Iron, is just over the horizon, a recent artwork posting by one of Bungie's staffers seems to be hinting at possibilities for the Shadow World Shooter sequel. A batch of rejected art concepts show off a Titan with a shield, a Warlock with sword and wings, a Hunter with a staff or a spear or something, along with a 2 covered in flames. While the source of the art has been confirmed to not be making it to any marketing material for the game, the images themselves could perhaps show something that is in the game itself. Like, Josh, we were talking about this right before we started the show.
Yeah.
You were alluding to the possibilities of maybe these being the sorts of supers that we see.
Yeah, so the rumor that I had seen was that, or not the rumor, I guess what the artist had said before he took all this shit down off Reddit.
Oh, is it already gone?
It was gone quick. The only reason I saw it was because a Destiny YouTuber I follow, my name is Bife, had a video about them, and he had the pictures in the video.
Oh.
So, yeah, so they're all the pictures you described, and all of them kind of have this like. They look like it almost looks like everything around them is like on fire, like perpetually. So,
Right.
a lot of people were theorizing like, oh, maybe like in Destiny 2, it's like the last city gets sieged and like destroyed, and now it's like Destiny 2 is going to be everyone sort of like on the run, and it's going to be kind of like a second Dark Age or something, you know, some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we were saying like, oh, maybe these are all the new like supers or the subclasses or something that are going to get introduced in Destiny 2, because, you know, I imagine they'll have different supers or different subclasses and stuff in Destiny 2, different from what we have now. And what I had seen was that the art was actually for storyboards pertaining to a Destiny 2 announcement trailer, and that the images shown were actually rejected, so that they aren't actually like going to be used ever.
Right.
So this artist,
I'm assuming that's why he felt it was okay.
So this artist put them on his website and described them like that. Someone on the Destiny subreddit found it, shared it, and then like within the hour they were just gone.
Right.
And then when you go to the guy's website, they're all gone. Like they're not on there anymore. So my theory was that like they put this up, and then Bungie contacted him and was like, "You need to take this shit down like right now."
Because there's some hint of truth inside of that.
I'm sure that
anyway.
I'm sure those subclasses are legit real. This is a game that's supposed to come out next year.
Right.
It's a game we haven't seen anything of, but they've said as much, and in all the investor calls for Activision, they keep multiple times they've mentioned that Destiny 2 is coming out in 2017. So I'm sure these subclasses are real. What they, are remains to be seen, but I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. I imagine E3 is when we'll actually see the game.
Who knows?
And then they'll be like, oh, it comes out in September, because that's usually when big Destiny stuff comes out. It's always in September.
Right. When did Destiny get announced? Wasn't that like December?
It was at E3.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, because I remember that stream. Whenever Bungie was like, "Here's the stream happening for," or was that during? I don't know. You're the Destiny guy. I won't argue with you.
Yeah, they had the E3 demo when they revealed the PS4 was the first time they showed Destiny.
I will say these artwork ads makes very clear to me no void or arc damage in the game. Only solar.
It's all solar, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay.
Well,
so,
like, yeah, I mean, because everything's in flames, you know, like there's all these embers and stuff. I think what they were, because they're supposed to be like concept art for a trailer. My theory was that like the trailer was gonna have just a bunch of fire and stuff in it. Like maybe these weren't necessarily all fire subclasses.
Yeah.
But just that, like, you know, oh, the city is burning or something would be like the thing. But
right. It's a thematic tone.
yeah, we're not totally sure
Any more
right
thoughts
now.
on this Destiny art leak?
I just took a look at it, actually. I didn't see it before. I mean, it's just like, that's pretty vague stuff to begin with. I mean, it's just a 2.
Yeah. It looks like a teaser.
Yeah, it's just teaser stuff. I mean,
yeah.
And you know, even this had been confirmed and this was actually used, it's not like it really would have told us much. So,
right.
You know,
it's all hints.
It's all hints.
Little teases.
Yeah.
Tantalizations.
I'm excited to see what they show, and they're definitely going to show it at E3 if they're scheduling a 2017 release. I think they're just going to do it the same way Activision always does stuff. They show it at E3 and then they release it in the fall. That's just what they do.
With
and then
David
Bungie
Bowie
will
song.
have like a stream every month until it's released. They just show off more stuff. Pretty much.
I hope it's revealed with a David Bowie song that's covered by a terrible band. That'll be great.
What?
Like Call of Duty. You remember that
and
one?
And then also like
the trailer that came out. There, what was the song? It was like a. Fuck! It was the. I can hear it in my head, but I'm like, fuck! What is it? Because it's about Major Tom.
Ground
control to Major Tom.
Space
I love how Josh and I just came at the exact same time for that.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not a huge David Bowie person. That's the only line of that song I know. Yeah. So.
Have you guys listened to Black Star, by the way?
No.
Check it the fuck out.
That was his new CD, right? Before,
yeah,
like, right when he died.
Yeah, the week before. It's so good, man. It's like very self-aware of his situation. It's fucking beautiful. Anyway, moving along because we're running a little bit heavy on the news side. Let's go on to our next topic. Games coming out. So games coming out this week. We're going to be running from August 14th to August 20th. We've got 10 games on the docket this week. Ooh. Nothing crazy in the AAA space, but definitely some really cool indie and smaller titles that you might want to be picking up. Starting the list off with a very interesting one. Came out on the PS Vita earlier, so you may know about it. But if not, pick up Conception 2, Children of the Seven Stars for PC on August 15th. It's time for classmating. Monsters have invaded the world of Atera, and only a few special individuals imbued with the power of the Star God are equipped to fight it. Combine your star power to make imaginal star children to boost up your forces in battle. If you don't know, this game's about fucking...
Dude! What an amazing like pun. It's time for classmating. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it.
A sequel to a PSP game. Haven't played that one, but I hear a lot of stuff about this one. It's pretty crazy, apparently.
It's graphic.
Straight up hentai. It's Bible Black. That's all it is.
Yeah, you literally play out Bible Black scenes in a Telltale-esque adventure game.
My God. Get on Telltale's phone right now. Tell them to make a Bible Black
level.
game.
Did you see that? Dude, I was like reading this Destructoid article to my girlfriend today because Destructoid put up a thing that was like, Telltale needs to make a trapped in the closet R. Kelly game or whatever.
Oh my fucking God. This is the
and they were
Jesus
saying
Christ,
like
the possibilities.
Yeah, they were saying like this could fund Walking Dead season 3 through 33.
What?
It's so funny. They're like, the possibilities are endless and stuff.
I love Destructoid.
So great.
Quality content. Oh Jesus!
All they do is write about that and like hentai games. That's all they ever write about.
I fucking love them. So,
is that where you're reading this article from?
That's a heck of a way to start it, pal.
Yep, it's from Detoid. I get all my hentai news from Destructoid. Next game on the list: 2064 Read-Only Memories: Citizens of Neo San Francisco for the PS4 and Vita on August 16th. Inspired by classics like Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Father, and Snatcher, 2064 Read-Only Memories is a retro-futuristic take on the point-and-click adventure genre that features a rich, mature narrative and unique gameplay challenges hidden within the beautiful, interactive pixel scenes. The deeper you delve into the life of your missing friend, the further you get entangled into this tale about the dark side of technology. Can you survive in Neo San Francisco, or will a mystery go unsolved? I don't know if you guys have seen anything about this one, but it's been on my radar for a while. Looks like one of the at least prettiest and coolest indie games coming out this year.
It's got quite a cast for the voice actors. Like I'm seeing here.
Read them off. Let me hear them.
So the narrator is going to be Dave Fennoy.
No shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
and there's a character Melody is played by Erin Fitzgerald, who she's most well known for Chie from Persona 4.
Right.
And Uriel from World of Warcraft, my
Right.
girl.
And
Okay, Josh.
Dude, she was the best. She was the best.
we also
I'll believe you.
have Melissa Hutchison, who is the character named Turing. I
Melissa
know,
Hutchinson.
Yeah, who does she play again? Like I know her name, but I just don't
Melissa
know.
I'll look it
Hutchison.
up.
What is her?
She plays
Oh,
Cucumber
she's
Patch.
she's who is
that was
she?
a
Come
really
on.
deep joke. I'm sorry.
That's fine, Josh. I'm
It's like, what the fuck are you talking
I'm
about?
Because she
ignoring
said
you
her
right
name
now.
was Turing, and like,
she's
what's his name? Fucking
hold up, I
You
got
got
it.
it.
Cucumber Patch. What is his name? I always call him that.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. I always call him Benedict Cucumber Patch, and he played Alan Turing in that movie. So when you
Oh
called
my
him
fucking
Turing, I
God.
said it's actually a game where she's playing Cucumber.
Josh, get out.
Patch.
Get out.
Woo!
I'm
These
kinda
leaps of
done.
logic that only you could understand.
I'm done. But anyway, the Melissa Hutchison is Clementine from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Ah.
I met her.
Yeah.
No shit. Is she cool?
Yeah.
Is she nice?
She was at a Telltale party. I met her. She was really nice.
Josh is a telltale insider. He
Yep.
knows all the secrets.
No,
He's got-
The inside
some of them,
man.
because people get drunk and then, I should stop.
That's great.
Sworn to silence.
Very excited though for Read Only Memories. This one looks really cool. Bound for PS4 on August 16th. Bound transports you into the beautiful, fantastical world that exists in the mind of a woman revisiting the memories of her childhood. They'll use dance moves to traverse vast environments filled with platforming challenges. As the game progresses, the introspective story unfolds through powerful metaphor and imagery, adding emotional depth to the protagonist's journey. Can I be really transparent just for a minute on
What?
this one? This game looks great. I think it's going to be good. I believe it's on like the summer PSN thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta be honest, and this is not a gripe against the game. I just think it's funny. Sony's going like really fucking pretentious with these indie games sometimes. We got Abzu, we got Bound coming out.
I liked
and, like,
Abzu.
everyone's. Oh yeah, Abzu's great. I'm not gonna.
Or
say
I
shit. I'm
loved
just saying.
Abzu. No one's gonna get what that means, but yeah,
Wait, what? Why are y'all fucking joking about it? Can't make jokes that nobody else is gonna get.
exactly. I'll do that if I want to, Kyle. You can't tell me what
I'm
to
just
do.
gonna kill myself. Don't worry about it.
You
Go
can't
for it.
tell me what to do.
You're right. That's definitely a fact.
But yeah, Sony is getting kind of pretentious with some of these. Like,
I just think it's funny. Like
Yeah.
Journey, clearly very inspired a lot of Sony specific titles, as well as I believe The Last of Us. I think was pretty important to like defining Sony's development styles. I think like clearly Days Gone emulating a lot of that. I just think it's funny. I just think it's very cool how they're like, oh, we're gonna be the games company. We're gonna be fucking good at this shit. We're gonna make real games.
This company is a far cry from the company that sent out the guy in the big Crash costume with the megaphone, like shouting at a Nintendo building. Like,
Oh
this
my
is really-
god,
this
I
is-
love that.
It's a different company now.
He's like, you're gonna be out of business soon. No.
Oh man, I mean, this is what you can do when you're on the top, though. You can spend money towards games like this that, even if it doesn't sell great, it's gonna get a lot of critical attention. It's like doing the Netflix model, and it's a good thing. I'm not trying to say it's bad. Just think it's funny. That's all.
Dope.
Anyone else seen anything from Bound though? Because it looks cool. I like it.
It looks cool.
Yeah, for sure. Pick it up August 16th. That's gonna be Tuesday, which is video game day.
Yep.
Yeah, all
Tuesday.
games come out Tuesday.
Yeah.
The
Except
biggest
No Man's Sky
release
on PC.
of the year. It's coming out. You guys know what it is?
Rise of Iron.
No, fuck you. Fuck you so bad. It's Uno for the PS4, Xbox One,
Oh
and
no!
PC.
Get
Game of
ready
the year
for all the
2016.
dicks.
16th.
Get ready for
I
all
forgot
the
about that.
dicks.
Yeah. I wonder
Oh, they were
they
everywhere,
also-
dude.
Here, let me read the piece because there will still be dicks. Whether you
Oh,
just
no.
miss playing it or you're looking for a way to introduce it to a whole new generation, the classic card game Uno will be available for download on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. In addition to the traditional matching game, Uno includes online functionality that allows players to drop in and out of games, as well as communicate via video and voice chat. Video and voice chat. Weekly and global and online leaderboards will also be available for those of you that are looking to see how to stack up against other Uno players. And if you're completely unfamiliar with Uno, don't worry. This version of the game has tutorials, in-game tips, and an overview of the rules to get you up to speed quickly. So Uno coming out August 16th. I fucking loved the 360's Uno game. I played that so much.
I just
Back
love
in the day.
Uno. It's a
I
good
just like
game.
Uno's
Uno,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, Uno's great. One of the best.
Apparently,
card
they
games.
didn't learn their lesson. They're like video and voice chat.
I feel like they're just like, fuck it, whatever.
It's just
Let it
tons of
happen.
dicks
I don't know.
slapped on connects.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I feel like this
Oh
is a
my
game that
God.
could have been made in a browser and just played like like those online poker games. Like I don't
I feel like it's probably available in a browser somewhere.
most likely
Uno? I bet you it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure
for-
there's like a Flash version out there.
somewhere.
made for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could jump online with like the hardcore Uno community.
Other is there really a hardcore Uno community?
Dude, there's gotta be a hardcore Uno.
Reddit /r/Uno.
r/Uno.
I'm doing that
Oh,
now.
man. That's so funny.
Tell me, is there? I want to know. Like, for
Reddit
legit.
/r/Uno. Let's see.
This is real journalism.
This doesn't look
Is
like
it a bunch of dicks? Because that would be amazing.
It's
This-
just dicks.
it rerouted me to. It looks like I don't know what this is. Like Uno's
Dicks.
Austria.
Are we on-
This looks like something that isn't Uno. Like this looks like something
We're on
that
the
just
dark
has.
web.
No,
Oh,
this is just.
Tread
and
carefully.
I'm on the dark web.
I think
Oh, God,
this. I
wandered
think.
into a gore thread. Okay.
and I'm in a red room.
Yeah.
Oh
Doesn't say what this is.
my God, dude.
Oh, it's. I got the subreddit for the University of New Orleans.
Oh my God, that's
what-
hilarious.
Yeah.
All right.
Not. And it specifies. It specifies
They
not.
rerouted to the University of World. That's
Yeah.
great. I
It says
love
a subreddit for the University of New Orleans, not the University of Omaha, and no, not the awesome game of Uno.
that. Oh man.
We gotta try
So
Uno.
they're aware. They know that shit. They're on
Maybe it's like
wow.
how the Destiny
Impressed.
subreddit. Like if you type in r/Destiny, you end up on that streamers web subreddit.
Yeah, you have to go to Destiny the game. Or
So what about r/Uno the game? Uno the game does not come up.
Maybe there isn't a hardcore Uno community. Maybe
Uno game.
this is our chance, guys. We could start it right here.
Yeah,
Right now.
we could start a fucking revolution.
Uno competitive. We'll be millionaires.
This is our chance.
Competitive
comes
Uno.
out August
There's like
16th.
literally no skill in Uno.
Yeah, it's an entire
It's all
game.
luck.
I mean, I use Uno cards for Circle of Death. So
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna say I play competitive Uno at my local card store.
yep. Good on
All
my
these
local
kids are
comic
playing
book
Magic
shop.
the
We're
Gathering. I'm over here
Yeah,
playing Uno.
Show with Uno.
Well,
What you bitches even know about this fucking shit?
Fuck
Get outta
your
here.
Black Lotus. I got this like
you guys have
triple
seen-
wild card.
Wait, you guys have seen that that video that somebody made on the internet? They posted it all over Facebook, where they actually made like a Yu-Gi-Oh style TV show, but it was Uno.
What?
You didn't see
This sounds
that?
amazing.
No.
Oh my
Is
god,
there an
it's
Exodia?
amazing. I'm gonna see if I can find
What's
it on
Exodia?
YouTube.
Is it Switch
I don't
reverse?
remember. I mean, like,
It's got to be reverse. Exodia's got to be reverse. Or maybe
Yeah, I-
reverse is trap card.
I had an Exodia deck for a while. That was good stuff. It pissed
yeah,
everyone off because it
Yeah,
was like
of course it would. It's
because
fucking
all
bullshit.
it was just about not dying and drawing cards.
just
And
getting to-
eventually you just won.
Yeah, just
It was
get to
basically the Hearthstone equivalent of the Mill deck. It was so frustrating, and I
okay,
loved
so
playing
this
it.
should do it. I'll put it in chat here.
Exodia. Oh,
There you go.
let me see this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
If Uno wasn't anime.
You can watch it
All right.
after we're done.
Any more thoughts on Uno though coming out?
Beware of dicks.
I just went over to the general chat for no reason. Anyway, yeah, Uno coming out. Pick it up. I like Uno. It's
You
fun.
leaving me dot? Oh, if Uno was an anime, okay.
So, next game on the list, Adventure Capitalist for PS4 on August 16th.
Such a great name.
It really is. Very, very good. It's just beautiful. Eloquent. Says everything you need. Welcome, eager young investor, to Adventure Capitalist, arguably the world's greatest capitalist simulator. Have you always dreamed of owning your own business, being the master of your own destiny, forming your own multinational conglomerate to create the worldwide monopolistic economy? Then Adventure Capitalist is the game for you. Begin your quest for world domination by clicking on the lemonade stand progress bar. Keep clicking until you can afford to pay for more squeezers. Now you've got the hang of it. Hire employees, purchase cutting-edge upgrades, dominate the market, and attract eager angel investors to boost your profits. Jeez, I can't remember.
Yeah, angel investors.
Yeah, angel investors. The only way to go is up, up, up. Adventure Capitalist. You can't spell hedge fund without fun.
I love that.
Yeah, it really warms my heart. This game, like it sounds not fun at all, but man,
it really warms my heart, and that's not the heartburn talking.
I ate some wings earlier. I'm dying over here.
Oh man, I had half a burrito. It's good stuff.
Half a burrito?
Well, it was leftover.
And it was
burrito.
Still good stuff?
After the wedding, we went to this burrito place at like 11 p.m. and
was it Chipotle?
No, fuck Chipotle.
No,
it was a legit burrito place.
Not San Francisco,
hey man, Chipotle's all right.
No, Chipotle's good when you're not in like San Francisco.
No,
yeah,
really
good
I know.
Mexican
San Francisco's
food.
hella crazy about Mexican shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I have over.
I live in California. I can get actual good Mexican food. I'm not going to Chipotle.
Yeah, I live in Missouri, so I don't know what Mexican food even tastes like.
You poor piece of. I was wait. Hang on. I was gonna insult you, and I was like, why?
Jesus.
What am I doing?
Dude, were you gonna call me a
poor
heathen?
Piece of shit.
Jesus Christ, that's way harder than I was
like. No, that's not what I meant. I was gonna say you poor. I was gonna say you poor bastard, really but then I meant to call you piece of. You're hardcore about it. Oh my god, dude.
Oh god, I shouldn't make that segue. But Poncho for the Wii U on August 18th.
Oh, no.
The world is ruined.
Oh,
mankind is
We did
gone.
not plan this.
And all that remains are robots. But for Poncho, the adventure is just beginning. Explore an open world full of colorful characters, leaping between parallax layers to overcome obstacles and solve puzzles. You can make it through the Red Tower, meet your maker, and ultimately save humanity. This game sounds hella weird. It's about like the end of the world, meeting God, and your name.
Do I get
Poncho.
to be a robot in a poncho? That's the real.
I don't know if
question.
you're in a poncho or if you're just named Poncho. Poncho has to be involved.
Poncho's a great robot name.
Yeah,
it is, isn't it? I hope it's dressed like the what is the Clint Eastwood's character in the Spaghetti Western trilogy? Fuck.
Clint Eastwood.
Sure. Let's just imagine that you're Clint Eastwood in this game.
Yeah. I mean, he's just
Make America Great Again. Trump.
He just talks to he just talks to he just talks to empty chairs, hates Obama, and calls millennials pussies. That's basically
that's the whole game.
That's what he does, right?
Fuck it, I'd play that
game. I'd play that game. Racist simulator.
Have you seen Gran Torino? I don't like Koreans.
Yeah.
It's a good movie though. Gone in November for PC on August 18th. A 20-minute game about a dying man who is struggling with his diseases to see his loved one once more time again. That doesn't make any sense, but that's how it's tipped. Sounds like a sad game coming out on PC.
Depressing. At least it's only 20 minutes long.
So yeah, it's probably not going to be a.
I bet it was like some student project. Are they charging for this?
I don't know. You have to go check out Steam.
I feel like if your game's 20 minutes, like I wouldn't charge for it. Like I had an idea for a game that I don't tell that many people because like maybe I'll make it one day, and it involves like VR and stuff, and like it's supposed to have like a really like powerful message, but it's supposed to give it to you in like 15 minutes. And even I was like, I would never charge for this. I would just give it to people as like a thing they should play. But
it reminds me a little bit of that Dragon Cancer, which is, I would say, 40 minutes long. And that's a $20 game, I think.
Oh, is it really only 40 minutes long?
Yeah, it's not very long. I mean, there's nothing to do in it. You just go around environments and stuff, but
you just cry.
Yeah, it's Crying Simulator 2016.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm all right. I don't think I can deal with that.
Yeah, that's a real game. But Metroid Prime Federation Force for 3DS on August 19th. Ooh, the galaxy is not at peace.
Oh, yeah.
The war between,
that game nobody wanted.
The war between the Galactic Federation and the Space Pirates is far from over. Enlist with the Federation Force to join a 4-player local or online squad in this co-op sci-fi shooter. Fight alongside teammates in your specialized mech to eliminate the Space Pirate menace and any threat that stands in your way. August 19th. Very interested Very interested to see how this one does. Have a feeling it will not be very good.
Yeah.
I mean, Robobot didn't do good either, but that was
people
apparently
are still mad about this game.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah.
From the second it got announced, it was like, this isn't going to do well.
Seriously, like, can we just get like honestly, all they would have to do is just make more Super Metroid.
I mean, we'll have to see if that NX rumor of a Metroid game coming out, if that's true.
Yeah. Watch
we'll
Metroid Other M2.
Oh my God. Well, okay. There's some good things in Other M. It's just like how they handle the story, and there's some wonky stuff. I think
I've never played it. I just hear
if they keep it internal, it might work. But obviously, Federation Force, I doubt it's going to be very. If it's not received well critically, it's definitely not going to sell well. So
right.
That coffin's already been nailed shut. F1 2016 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One on August 19th. Experience the most in-depth career mode in ever seen in Formula One game in F1 2016. Go deeper into the world's most exciting motorsport with 22-player online racing, formation lap, pit strategies, and the return of the safety car, all with stunning broadcast-style visuals. F1 2016, I hear a lot of good things about the series. As far as racing games go, I play Forza. That's about it. I have no knowledge about F1. My brother likes it a lot. He watches some of the races and stuff. He says this is very good.
So you take his word for it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, that's all going over my head. But I mean, there's no other F1 game out there, I would say. Because Assetto Corsa, I don't think, has F1 in it. And so, yeah, I don't think there's any competition. But it's a Codemasters game, I think. So. And Codemasters kills it. So, last game on the list. This one's probably the one I'm most excited for. Style Savvy, Fashion Forward for 3DS on August 19th.
Yes.
Show off your sense of style and dominate the fashion world across 5 exciting careers. Manage your own boutique, design clothes fit for a fashionista, style some wicked hair, master the art of makeup, and even become the next top model. The world is your runway in this fun, fully outfitted fashion game.
Fashion games are so hot right now.
Dude, have you played that Kim K game?
No.
The whole world's going crazy for these games. Kim Kardashian, man.
Although my best friend got me hooked on this dumb fucking Disney emoji blitz game, and I can't stop fucking playing it.
Josh, what are you doing? Just stop.
I can't help it. I wanted to beat his score, and then I did, and then it was like, well, I'm already in this. I'll just keep going.
Oh my God.
It's actually pretty good though. It's not bad. Pretty good.
All right.
It has a unique thing where like it's pretty much like Bejeweled, but like when you unlock the character heads in the game, you actually unlock like real emojis that get downloaded to your phone. So I think that's pretty clever.
Okay. All right. Sure.
I don't use them, but I think it's clever.
That's fine. I won't argue against it. That's fine.
Go play your hentai games. I'm over here.
I will play my hentai games. All right, as we always do every single week, it's finally time for that terrible time. I know, but we got to get through it. It's the topic of the show.
Bible Black. No.
It will be one day.
Okay, so, well, yeah, one day.
One day.
Like,
one day that'll be the topic. Why?
We're just gonna go over episode 4.
I
want an in-depth analyzation of episode 4. I don't know.
God.
I tried to think of a fake episode name for it.
I'm like morbidly curious if there's an actual podcast where they review hentai.
Dude,
I'm sure there is, man.
There's
gotta be, like, right? And I'm kind of like, do I even dare? Like,
I mean, I saw a whole video where someone was like giving a tour of his room, and it was all hentai clips. It was all like weird manga and body pillows.
Huh.
It was a pretty beautiful / horrifying slight.
Kyle, it's called Onicast.
What? Are you saying this is a real thing?
No, I was just saying, like, that would be the best name.
It would be called Onicast?
Onicast.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, dude.
Well, look, I know what our next podcast is going to be.
I'm almost done with this Coke, as you can tell.
This is fucking gone. All right. As we pointed out earlier in the show, it's not a good day if you're looking for fan-made projects of your favorite games. With the fan-made remake of Metroid II and the unofficial Pokemon Uranium versions both getting shut down, it's come to our attention that the world of unlicensed game development rides on a very thin line. It begs the question, the very difficult question to ask, are fan-made games coming to an end? Now, let me preface this real quick. Clearly, this answer, not entirely. This is Nintendo's approach.
I would just say no in general.
I wanted to set the stage. I wanted to give it a good starting point. So let's get going. Josh? You had a lot of thoughts about this, and I know Dave, you clearly do as well. But let's jump in. How do you guys feel about this recent news story?
Which one?
Either one.
Start with Pokemon. It's the most recent one.
Yeah.
All right.
I sort of get it. Like, I mean, Nintendo has to protect their IP, right? Mm-hmm. And this Pokemon one isn't really like a remake of an existing game. It's not exactly like something people are clamming for. It's not like they haven't made a Pokemon game in like 10 years and no one's making them, so these people were like, fuck it, we'll make our own, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I sort of understand the Pokemon Uranium one. I think it's cool that fans are so passionate that they would spend 9 years of their lives making their own game. And regardless of the fact that it got taken down, it will live on. You know, people will download it.
It's had its impact, and now it's out there.
Yeah.
It ain't coming anymore.
If anything, I think Pokemon Uranium, just in its presentation and in its like forward thinkingness, is just a cry out from the fans that maybe they expect a little bit more from Pokemon as a franchise.
Oh yeah. I think so.
So hopefully Nintendo sees that instead of just seeing like, we have to shut this down.
Right. Yeah. I remember when Oh, sorry, go ahead.
From what I see, like the Metroid one is frustrating to me.
Why?
I get it. I get why they have to shut it down, because it's literally a remake of a game that, you know, they made.
Mm-hmm.
But however, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not a game that you can buy on like Virtual Console. It's not a game that's easily. It's not a Metroid 2. It's not a game that's. Yeah, it's not a game that's easily accessible. It's hard to track down. I think I've seen one cartridge for that game ever.
Yeah.
And it was because my best friend's brother was like a huge Metroid fan, and he had to buy it on eBay. And like, this is a series that people are incredibly passionate about. A series that, like, yeah, maybe doesn't do the best in terms of numbers, but neither does Star Fox, and that got a game. I'm just saying.
Some would argue it's not even.
This is just, I mean, to me, this is just another example of like Nintendo being kind of tone deaf about like what their fans keep asking for. Like, their fans constantly ask for specific things. They're like, we want, you know, instead of diving down this huge rabbit hole, like, just sticking with Metroid. How long have you heard like, we want a new Metroid game, or like we want a just like, even if it was just stylized in the vein of Super Metroid, and you just made like a 4-hour, 3-hour game, like that was like that. I mean, people would go crazy for that.
I mean, when was the last 2D Metroid game? Just for context, was it
the last 2D Metroid game? Would have been Metroid Zero Mission.
I don't even count Zero Mission because that's the remake.
I mean, I guess that counts, but Fusion came out shortly after Metroid Prime did.
Yeah, so like, that's the last one in my mind.
Yeah, and then they made the Metroid Prime game.
Fusion is amazing, but
Fusion is amazing.
Fusion's
Both of the GBA Metroids are great. I would argue like, don't even bother with the NES Metroid because it's obtuse and ridiculous.
Damn. Jesus.
just play
I mean,
Zero
Super
Mission.
Metroid's the best, and yeah, Zero Mission I think
seriously,
is
like,
a better version. But
yeah, the original Metroid has like no map. It has like no explanations for anything. It's crazy. Like, if you just play Zero Mission, it's like there's a map, there's save points, everything's spelled out for you. It's like the way the game like should be. So it's like, just play Zero Mission.
I will say though, going back to that point about how Nintendo is like, this seems very reflective of Nintendo not listening to their fan base. I feel like Nintendo doesn't look at their fan base like for instance how Valve or someone would look at theirs. I think Nintendo thinks about their fans like Disney does, where it's like, yes, we love you and like we love the stuff you do, but like we care about our stuff on a different level, and so like we're not going to be beholden to this. And I'm not saying that this is good or bad. I think Nintendo thinks of themselves in a different context than many people think of Nintendo. And I think that's where a lot of the problem comes in. There's like a miscommunication between these two different parties.
But the impression I always get from Nintendo is that they are just going to kind of do whatever they want to do, which I guess there's nothing totally wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But on some level, like, their fans have been asking for like stuff for so long. It's like you got to think that there's like some monetary incentive, you know, there.
I mean, one could argue that, you know, that monetary value was sort of thrown away once they made Other M, because I mean, I think that was their sort of reaction to that, right? With Metroid, what was it? Prime 3 was the last one that came out before Other M, and so they were like, all right, let's make a new one, because Prime 3 came out beginning of the week.
I think like Other M just wasn't what
it got
fans
critically
really
panned,
wanted.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's what fans really
but that's the
wanted.
thing. It's like think about like what fans usually are want, right? They want more contextualization in the story. They want stuff like that, and that's like Other M is a fan servicey sort of game. And I agree, it's definitely not what I think Metroid fans wanted. And again, that goes back to that miscommunication thing I was talking about. But I think what Nintendo's learned from Other M is that they're trying to keep things in-house, which I think is a very important reason to... The reason why they shut down this remake is because, like we were talking about at the beginning, this is a hard game to find. What if they want to bring this to the NX at launch for instance, the virtual console lineup? Like, what if they're thinking about a really big push for stuff like that, which would be interesting. And this game would sort of steal some of that game's thunder, because if they brought it to the virtual console, it would not be a remake. You know, it would still look like it did on the Game Boy or whatever. You know, there's just a lot of incentives and reasons why I could see Metroid 2 in particular, the remake, for getting shut down. Going back to Pokemon for a minute, that one seems a little weirder to me just because it's a whole new game. However, like we've seen in recent past, Nintendo's very stingy about what they want out there in the ethos and what they decide to pull down. Like, for instance, if Project M, for instance, right? If that game project started like right now and it got a huge amount of traction, came out, and instead of remaking Melee, it was remaking the Wii U game and emulating it and creating new characters and stuff like that, I feel like they would probably shut that one down.
But wasn't that like just a huge mod?
Yeah, it was a... I'm very confused on how it works. Someone will correct me. But
the way I believe it works,
you have to have Brawl for it to work, though, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is, you're emulating and changing the game. That's the point. And I think if that ended up coming out,
but no, it's not actually Melee though. It just changes like a lot of the physics and stuff for Brawl to make it more like Melee, from what I understand.
But there's like whole new characters and stuff in it. Is my point.
Sure.
And, like, it's changing the game and it's popular, and I think they would have shut it down. Is all I'm trying to say.
They probably would have. I mean,
and I think that's just the Nintendo that we have right now. I mean, I pulled a couple of fan projects that didn't get shut down. Dave, you're definitely going to know one of these, and I'm sure you're waiting, chomping at the bite to talk about this one. The first one, GoldenEye Source, which the GoldenEye remake. So that's a remake of GoldenEye and the Source engine.
Hasn't been taken down yet. We're saying.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
Nintendo doesn't own.
Well, that was what I was about to say.
That's a weird.
There's a lot of there's a lot of different rights holders involved in this, which is why I'm thinking it's probably difficult for Nintendo to come out and say that. I think Activision had more pull in this circumstance than Nintendo, because like we saw, GoldenEye, the remake that they made, eventually made its way over to the other consoles.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think Nintendo has much ownership over that. So, and I doubt Activision really cares, because that's not really how they roll.
And honestly, I doubt Nintendo really cares too much about GoldenEye. I mean, like, yes, it was a big game on the N64, but it really wasn't one of their games.
I think it's an IP that they had to let go. It's not part of their...
If anything, Rare might have come after them for that, but
I don't think Rare has any way in it.
Rare doesn't really care. I mean, they developed it. It's their game, but
but now they're over at Xbox, and they weren't able to bring that game because of the rights and stuff. I think Activision may be the singular other than MGM at this point.
I mean, we see this kind of stuff happen all the time too. Like we talked about this with the whole Nostralis World of Warcraft server,
Right.
like the original 1.9 vanilla World of Warcraft server that was up and had like almost 1 million people playing it, and Blizzard shut that down. Although apparently they met with the people that were running that server and something happened, but we haven't heard anything about it.
Which is exciting to say the least, but
yeah, and we hear about this kind of thing happen with, you know, other things. I mean, there was that whole World of StarCraft MMO. Like these people were modding World of Warcraft into a StarCraft MMO, and they got pretty goddamn far. They had whole classes and races built, and then Blizzard shut them down too. And it's kind of like, it's kind of the same thing, you know?
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. I mean, let's be real. This stuff doesn't happen specifically to video games. You know, like I was listening to the Easy Allies podcast this weekend, and I heard an anecdote from Brandon Jones over there. He created a Star Wars musical when he was in high school and recorded it in a live local theater. And he put it up online. Like this was before YouTube and stuff, and immediately got it shut down by LucasArts. And like it didn't have any traction. It wasn't super popular or anything. It just like immediately got shut down. Yeah, so like this stuff happens all the time. Examples of like companies just fan remakes and stuff, like they're way more specific and rare than people might think of. People like the good examples, I mean, right? Like how Valve and how Sega treats that sort of situation. I think that's pretty rare in this circumstance. Like, so you're not going to see a mod from like Super Mario get turned into a new Wii U game, right? Like that's just not how this stuff works. And like, not to mention,
I mean, Valve did that.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
But like, I think more companies should be like Valve.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely arguable, but they have no incentive or need or right to, you know? Like, these are their properties. They don't owe anyone anything. Like, they're making money.
But I would argue Valve probably made money on it. If you think about it.
Clearly, yeah, Dota 2 is huge. Like, it's huge.
No, not even that. No, I'm not even talking about that. Like, there was that whole fan group remaking Half-Life 1 in the Halo
Black Mesa you're talking
about. Black Mesa.
Yeah, that was next on my list.
And like they were remaking that, but instead of shut them down, they like supported them, and they did like Valve didn't have to do any of the development, like any of the work, and they were just like, you can make money off this, but you got to give us a cut.
Valve is not publicly traded or owned, so they can do whatever the hell they want. That's why Gaming World does so many weird things. That's why instead of making games anymore, all they care about Steam, because that's where they make most of their money.
Right.
So I think
we're arriving at a certain topic here, and it has to do with, you know, a publisher or a developer's response to a fan creation and the context of the creation. Basically, when we talk about a game like Metroid II, we're talking about a game, like you said before, has not been released in any sort of real way in a long time. You really can't get it anywhere. Not to mention that Metroid hasn't really had a big game since Other M, and you know, there just hasn't been a lot of support for Metroid right now. People are pissed that there aren't any Metroid games. So then when someone finally comes out with a fan remake and Nintendo shuts it down, people get pissed. Whereas what happened with what was the other one that got shut down? Go back to the list again. I'm sorry. It was like
Pokemon?
Yeah, Pokemon. Okay, so Pokemon's the perfect example. There's a Pokemon game coming out in a few months. Not to mention that Pokemon games have been coming out every year for the most part. They really didn't take a break. So
there's a Metroid game coming out this week.
I know.
Yeah, but
that's
that's not
the Metro. That's
but
not the Metroid game.
That's what you think. That's not what Nintendo thinks. Nintendo's like, this is hurting our brand. It's probably drawing attention away from Federation Force, which needs clearly all of the attention and money it needs, right? A lot of it.
Well, that's exactly that contributes to my argument that Nintendo's got its head in the sand. And it's not understanding.
I mean, that's
what people actually want.
But clearly, Nintendo is not handling this in its best way from a fan perspective. It's making people angry. That's very, very clear.
Yeah.
And I don't think I don't think anyone's arguing that Nintendo did the what's the word? Just like, this is probably throwing the most goodwill out the window for them to do, right? But they're still in every right. They have every right to do this because this is their stuff. They made it. So honest, like for someone to come out and be like, I want to make a Metroid game, which because I'm a fan, that's amazing and awesome. And I think that as a company, they should respect that stuff, but like they have no need to. This is their properties. This is the stuff they own.
Well, I mean,
and this is probably having financial repercussions that we're not even aware of because the NX and stuff that they haven't announced, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying let it exist as it is. I'm actually my whole thing is actually I want to use Sonic Mania as an example.
Yeah.
Sonic Mania is made by quote unquote 2 mega fans, basically people who are just fans of Sonic who wanted to make it, and Sega said, "Cool, let's do it," and just gave them some resources, got behind the project, but still let them lead development, which is why Sonic Mania is coming out.
It could be argued though that Sonic is in a much different situation than any Nintendo property, just because Sega's in a little bit of the dire straits and they need fan approval. And Christian Whitehead has been making games on their own Sonic engine for a while. Like Retro Sonic is the game he made before they got him on board to make Sonic CD, Sonic 2 on mobile platforms and stuff like that. So like Sonic Mania, I think, is a little different than
I mean,
but like I totally agree.
Yeah,
Sonic's handling it, and I think the best way possible for fans, because that's what is going to do the best for Sega. Nintendo, on the other hand, I think that just goes back again. It's like, what's his name? The guy at Studio Ghibli, the director who doesn't direct anymore, Hayao Miyazaki, right?
Yeah.
He does not allow any edits to his movies at all, even though if he just allowed a couple of edits for a TV edit, they would make way more money. More people would see them. There's a lot of stringent rules on the release rights and stuff like that. And if he was a little bit more lenient, if he was a little bit more open, those movies would get to be seen by a lot more people. Like it took till not a few years ago for there to be a Blu-ray release of Spirited Away in the States. It took a really long time for that to happen. Yeah. And that's just how this stuff works when you're dealing with rights holders that really care about their IPs and their properties and stuff like that. And I think Nintendo is one of those rights holders. Again, I don't think it's the best thing to do from a fan's perspective, and clearly it fucks up like the 9 years of work for Pokemon in this specific case. But I think it's on the creators who are doing that to really be proactive, get approval from those guys. Reach out, like when you have momentum, got the ball rolling, say like, hey, we're doing this thing. We want your blessing. And if they shoot back, yeah, go for it. We love it. That's great. But if you'll also know if they want you to stop while you're still creating the fucking thing. So you're not like Pokemon Uranium 9 years deep and then you realize they don't want you to do it. Side note, I was researching other Pokemon fan games. There's like fucking 9 other ones I found, and none of them have been shut down because they're all small.
Well, yeah, because they didn't go screaming out to everybody, hey, this game's out.
Yeah, I think you're just...
Also, there's been, like... I used to, like, look into Pokemon MMOs that people were making, and there have been, like, a shitload of them. Like, a shitload of them. And Nintendo always shuts them down or doesn't do them, and it's like at some point you'd maybe think, well, if people have tried to make 50 different Pokemon MMOs, maybe we should just make a goddamn Pokemon MMO. You know what I mean? It took them this long to finally make one, and they didn't even fucking make the game. So it's like,
well, I think that goes back to the thing where like I want a console Pokemon game really bad. It's not gonna happen, you know. Unless this NX Pokemon game idea turns out to be that, but
true.
We'll see about that. I mean, fucking Gale of Darkness. Just goes back to that.
Oh god, that game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing I think, like people are screaming at Nintendo, like, why can't you just do this and it would be great? And like, I think there's usually a precedent for them to point to and be like, we tried one time and it sucked, so we don't want to do it again.
Yeah. I mean, I think, but with Nintendo, it's like they have such a rabid fan base that wants certain things. Like, I mean, for God's sakes, like people have been asking for like them to release Mother 3 stateside for so long. People wanted that game to come stateside so fucking bad that they translated it themselves, like, and put it online.
It's
like
a good translation, by the way, too.
That's fucking bonkers to me. Like, and it's like you're just leaving money on the table at some point. It's like, can't just get like 2 dudes to like translate this and put it
takes
out.
A lot more work than that, though.
I realize that. I know I'm being simplistic, and maybe it's the rum talking, but like I'm just saying, like at some point, you gotta listen. Like your fans, the only thing keeping you afloat right now.
I mean, here's my take on Nintendo, right? Like, again, I hate these gimmicks. I hate everything they do like that. My dream world is for them to just make a GameCube-like console, just a normal fucking controller, and then make games on it that are normal, without any of this gimmick shit, and then return to that IP the great list of IPs that they got. And in my opinionated brain here, I'm like, they would make fucking hella money. I would buy so much of their shit.
Yeah, they would.
But, the reality is they probably wouldn't, because they tried it before and they didn't. And there's like outside factors that go into that. And like, maybe they would be able to, I'm sure there's a universe that exists out there. There's a brighter timeline, if you will, where Nintendo exists and they're making games that everybody loves and they're on top of the world again. But for that to happen, PlayStation or Xbox would need to get pushed out of the market, and it would probably be Xbox. And, at the moment that seems pretty unlikely. So
Nintendo's
it's just like
probably the #1 publisher in the Upside Down. They're probably the best.
Wouldn't doubt
Got
it.
everything on lockdown there.
Down. Dude, that show's so good. Fuck.
Yeah, that show was really good.
I love you, 11.
But
I
mean, on some level,
oh, well,
like,
that spoilers. I'm so sorry.
That whole GameCube thing is a really interesting argument because, like, people have been saying, like, man, Nintendo, can't you just make a normal console? And it's like, well, that doesn't work either because...
Yeah, their last normal console didn't do so hot.
It's like, I mean, I love the GameCube, but...
Who doesn't?
I have it sitting right in front of me.
Exactly. It's an amazing console with, in my personal opinion, some of the most innovative Nintendo games in their mainline series, right? Like Double Dash is really outside the box. Sunshine, even though people don't like it as much.
I love
Sunshine.
Love
Who the hell
Sunshine.
hates
I love it
Sunshine?
too, but it's probably the most different mainline Mario game.
I remember people like at the time were like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go by and spraying water everywhere. And then when you play the game, you're like, oh, this game's dope.
Oh, dude,
it's so good. Yeah.
Honestly, I was down when
Flood,
this came out, but that was such a.
I was really against it, but I was a little fucking shithead back then. So.
Which one?
Sunshine.
Oh yeah, Sunshine's great though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 100%. I love it now. I was just a little fucker.
Yeah. I just like people. I get it that like sometimes Nintendo probably thinks about their fans and in the sense that like they don't even know what they want, like because I think a lot of people do have some really stupid ideas and they think they want something but they really don't. Like a lot of the WoW vanilla people, going back to that, they think they want vanilla WoW back, but like the minute you step back into vanilla WoW, you're like, holy fuck. Like,
right. Yeah, quality of life.
I could be playing modern WoW,
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, sure, people might want like Nintendo to make like a regular console with just regular shit and like achievements and stuff, but then it's like,
I don't think they could do that.
But then why even? But then it's like, but then why even? Yeah, I don't think they could compete with Sony or Microsoft. But even then, it's like, why? Here's a good example, because like when they were making when the Wii U was coming out, everybody kind of thought that this might be the thing. Like right when it was coming out, and they showed like Assassin's Creed's coming and Batman's coming and stuff, and I was like, I mean that's really cool and all, but like, why would I buy Assassin's Creed on Wii U at like when I could just buy it on my PlayStation? I feel like most people would probably feel the same way. Like it's like, what do you? I mean, and in a way, it's like I know it's gonna look worse on your hardware, and it's probably not gonna play as good. It's like, are you offering me some weird gimmick? Probably not. Like,
are you talking about the Wii U or the NX?
Yeah, but I was trying to compare it to like for instance, if they came out and they said the NX, what if, ignore like all the weird rumors that it's a handheld, what if the NX was literally just like a box and it had like a Pro controller in it, and they said, all right everybody, this is what you wanted, it's just like a Nintendo box and it plays games. Like, would people really be happy with that?
Yeah, it would never be anyone's primary box.
Exactly. Nobody would be happy with that anyway.
Yeah, like, everyone's already picked already.
I mean, Nintendo's never going to get the primary box slot again. Like, they're always going to be they're trying with this NX thing. And I think if they're going to insist on continuing to make hardware, that the NX, if this is what we think it is, and if it's really what they're trying to make, that's probably the only direction they can go. I mean, to just try to be a hybrid.
They can't be...
Yeah,
inside. They got to go outside somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna hammer on the same point that I've hammered on before. They should just go third party, but it's just not. It's not really our topic. It's not what we're talking about.
Yeah. But if the NX does fail, that's the only place they have left to go.
Yeah,
so.
But as far as honestly, when I look at Nintendo and I see shit like this happening, I see the exact same company that created the Nintendo Creators Program. the people who, they take chunks from YouTubers, ad revenue just because it's our property, so it belongs.
That's really
to us.
representative.
Go fuck yourself, Nintendo. I'm sorry. That's like is why I will not cover Nintendo content, because I'm just like.
Here's my thing. Well, that's why most people don't cover Nintendo content. Yeah. My thing about it is like. Yeah, it is their game. If you put their game on YouTube, like technically it's theirs, and
I agree with you.
They deserve a piece of it. Like I think if like okay, let's say like I only covered like Overwatch, and I monetize all my videos. If Blizzard wanted a cut of my videos, I honestly wouldn't necessarily be opposed. I just don't want them. I don't think they deserve a right to 100% of my video.
Yeah, that's the problem with that in particular. It's because Nintendo doesn't understand how like some of these guys live on this shit, and like they're taking away a lot of that livelihood. I think that's where it comes from.
Well, they don't take 100%, but the creators program I think takes like 30 to 40% or something.
They don't,
it's a big enough
the fact that you even have to apply for the creators program is the problem.
Is absurd. I mean,
like
it goes back to like Nintendo's
they should have just worked this out with YouTube.
Not to mention they use the copyright system like in the way it's not supposed to be used either. Because I know that.
But getting off topic for a minute.
I'm sorry.
Sure. Going back
gets
to
me angry.
No, yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah.
So like, I think this is a thing that's just like a truth of it's a reality that we live in, right?
Yeah.
That some of these games that come out, like it's up to the company and their incentives to make the decision on like which one should we keep, which one should we take down, and Nintendo unfortunately is very stingent on that stuff. And like if we saw what was that game, some Soul something, it's like it looks like Final Fantasy 15 straight up.
Soul, god damn it,
Soul Aside, maybe?
I think that's it. Let me hold on. My
Soul Aside GX42 Bud Edition.
No,
that sounds fucking awesome, dude.
TZR cover.
It's got like Mountain Dew on the top. It's got like Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Let's see, I can find it. Lost Soul Aside.
Lost Soul Aside. There we go.
Yeah. It's a horrible name.
It's made by one guy.
Yeah, so it's pretty impressive. Cool. I'm not. Did that game get taken down? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. It's just it looks like Final Fantasy. It's not like
taken.
If that got taken down, I'd be pissed.
One by blah blah blah. I do not hear anything about this, so I think it's still up and going. But the thing is, right? Like,
no, I see a piece of news saying that Sony has contacted them.
Yes, I think you're right, because I followed this guy on Facebook and I heard something about it. So like, I didn't see a news piece, but I heard it from like a post that you made or some shit. But the point being, right? Like, this is not a rip. This is like an original game, but it's inspired heavily from a game that's about to come out. That's taken 10 years to make now at this point. So like there is incentive and reason for either Sony, either Square Enix, anyone to step in and be like, hey, this is sort of like infringing on our stuff. And like, can you not do this? And like, it would suck because this is one guy putting a lot of work into this game, which in my opinion looks fucking awesome. It looks like Final Fantasy mixed with Devil May Cry, but this is just the reality of the world we live in. Like creators and artists, like, that line is really fucking blurry.
I think the total nuance of all this stuff is so interesting because while you were talking, I was just thinking about Skywind. Do you guys know what that is?
I heard about that.
Skywind is a Morrowind remake being made inside of the Skyrim engine. And technically, like, you can't really like sue them for that because they're just using the tools that Bethesda gives them.
Right, it's just a mod.
So it's like, and in a way, it doesn't really hurt Bethesda because like, it's not like people aren't gonna like, oh, why would I buy Morrowind? It's gonna probably help Skyrim sales a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
People will buy, and people do buy those games like for their mod support and stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like when you think about. I was thinking about Blizzard also, like Diablo 1, which is probably my favorite game of all time, is sort of unplayable on modern PCs, but there's people, like there's a mod called Beelzebub mod, and it basically puts the game into HD, not like, it doesn't up-res anything, but it basically like puts it into an HD aspect ratio, changes a bunch of stuff in the game, like helps drop rates, gives you like better movement speed inside of the town, and like a bunch of really awesome stuff. But then again, it's like this isn't them remaking or re-releasing the game in any way. It's like you have to own the game to even use it. So technically it's a mod, but like it gives the game new life,
Right.
Yeah.
and a lot of the other things, it's like, yeah, sure, we're remaking this game, and yeah, that does sort of take away attention. So it's like I understand them shutting it down, but in other cases, it's like it's the Nintendo is like the reason that it's Nintendo is just kind of what makes me mad, and maybe it's just because they just frustrate me so much that like every time they do literally anything, I just get frustrated. But like
it's always the opposite of what we want them to do usually.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's just like because I just feel like Nintendo like just sometimes doesn't listen. It's like I wish you would just listen sometimes.
100% of the time they don't listen.
Yeah, but I also love the Valve idea. Like if I know there's a StarCraft HD like rumored that's coming out, but let's just posit that like maybe fans were creating. Ugh.
What was
that? Bad time for that.
What happened?
Was that a yawn or did you puke?
No, that was a huge rum burp. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right.
That was the worst time ever. Let's just say like a bunch of fans were making an HD remake of StarCraft 1. I would, instead of Blizzard like shutting them down, I would rather they like embraced it and like helped them make it, and like in a way like Blizzard like, hey, we don't have to do any of the work. Sure, we should probably make sure it lives up to our quality standards because Blizzard has incredibly high quality standards. But like, I feel like you're just like, oh, we'll give them a cut of the money and we'll make money off it at some rate. Like I love that Valve was like, oh, someone's remaking one of our games like in the engine of another one of games. Like, well, let's just
just promote the hell out of it.
Make the money. Yeah,
make money.
Let them do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also, I mean, that's also the reason they did that is because I think we all know that Valve is probably never going to return to Half-Life. So it's like it's a franchise that's long dead franchise of theirs that they just aren't like, and someone wants to make a fan remake of it. Cool. We have no interest in touching the game. That's why Valve let them do that. And with Nintendo, I mean, like there's games that have been off the shelf for quite an amount of time. Not necessarily the amount of time that Half-Life has been off the shelf, but I don't know. I see like some of the franchises that they could bring back and they don't, and then they shut down fan creations that try to bring back those franchises. I mean, like I'm half expecting to hear that that they're going to try to go after Extreme Gravity Rage, which is the that game that looks like F-Zero but it isn't. You know what I'm talking about?
There a game that just
yeah,
that was heavily inspired by F-Zero?
Yeah, that's the game I was talking about, Extreme Gravity Rage.
No, it's not that. It's like
now
I gotta Google search it.
No, I got it. It's come on, Fast Racing Neo.
Yes, Fast Racing Neo.
Yeah. They call it G1. Get it? 'Cause it's FG and then.
Hey Josh, why don't you go fuck yourself? Okay, but I mean specifically towards Nintendo because I think this has been a lot of Nintendo bashing, and it's like
that's my favorite kind of bashing, Kyle.
Oh, I'm sure. I'd like to slap that dig all around that Nintendo.
Jesus.
Yeah, they got a little graphic, but I mean, I like to get graphic here. Nintendo, dealing with long silent IPs is sort of.
I know what you were about to say.
I mean, it's not the length that matters; it's the girth that really matters of the weight. It's like
the
how
girth
it
of
feels.
Nintendo.
How it feels inside of you is really what really matters about
the Cloud
that,
versus Sephiroth argument. I like it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Cloud's got 7 different fucking versions of that dick. Yeah. I mean, sword. What are we talking about? Going back to my point.
Sword's got holes in it.
Yeah, it's weird. Should get that checked out. But Nintendo with distant IPs that have just stayed silent for a while, right? Like, I think that just goes back to their idea that they need to stay internal, because when they do outsource games like Other M to please their fans, it doesn't live up to these standards and these ways of development philosophy that they have. And it's like, yes, it's frustrating. Clearly, it's upsetting, and it pisses me off that I can't fucking play Earthbound 3 or Mother 3 because all this stupid shit. It would technically, I guess, it would be Earthbound 2 because Earthbound is actually Mother 1, but that's neither here or there. Like, it is really fucking stupid, but it's also completely understandable at the same time. And I think that's something that a lot of fans really don't give a fuck about. And I think that's very fair and valid on their point, because it's like, a company that makes games should just make games that are fun and games that you like. So when they're not doing that, it's like, what the fuck? Why should I care about you? That's a very valid and reasonable argument to make. However, Nintendo as a company, they own these properties. They have a high standard of quality. They have games that they want to make and how they want to make them. And it's like, look at a director. If he makes a movie that's great and then makes a sequel to that movie, but doesn't want to make a third one, there's no incentive, there's no need for him to go back there. Even though it may make him a lot of money, he's a director and he wants to make what he makes. And I think the only reason people never make that argument is because film has a different standard and a different style of how people think about it, how people cover it even, And for a video game company, it's like people assume if you make a lot of money off of Mario, you're going to continue making Mario forever because people like Mario. That's brand identity. That's important. And honestly, Nintendo shouldn't have two fucks to give about what they make and what they don't make outside of their own internal identity and ideas. So, but fan games in particular, it does make me really sad. But I mean, again, it's another reality of the industry, I think.
Yeah.
Not just ours, but yeah, like everybody's.
Take solace in the fact that when a fan game gets made and released, it'll never die because it's on the internet.
It's true. It's so true. Like, it's out there.
It will live on in the torrent, peer-to-peer networks, and on the muparadise.mes of the world.
Yep.
Just live on coolrom.com and on never die.
Paradise. Just don't open any .onion addresses when you're going there. Just leave those alone. But yeah.
And child porn.
Any other thoughts on fan projects getting shut down?
Well, I will say that like the one project that I'm disappointed was closed down, not closed down, but like kind of interrupted. But I understand why it happened was Star Wars Galaxy in Turmoil, because that was like only a couple months after Battlefront came out. And they were basically like trying to take the Star Wars Battlefront 3 stuff from Free Radical and remake it. Oh. Which was like I loved that idea, but I knew that was going to get taken down. And I understand why that happened.
Yeah, that's Disney. They ain't going to mess around.
That Knights of the Old Republic remake is still going.
Well,
see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, if we shut up about it, maybe it'll happen. Everybody shut up.
Delete this podcast.
Nobody fucking talk about it until that shit's on coolrom.com. Nobody say goddamn word.
The second you see the Kotaku article about like random game you want to come out that's a fan made creation, it's like, nope, stop it. Delete this right now.
You don't have to do this, Kotaku. Don't do it.
I swear to God, though, dude, if StarCraft HD is real, I goddamn really need to do Diablo HD because I would poop my pants.
If it needs Brood War, that's all I'm saying. Don't do it if it doesn't have Brood War.
I think it's supposed to have Brood War in it.
Fucking better. It's like an unfinished game if it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brood War's so good.
It's amazing, man. Jesus Christ. StarCraft OG is so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yeah, again, going back to that original question I posed, clearly they aren't going anywhere. Fan remakes always going to be strong. That's going to do it for us this time. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Geek Tank, a show where we dive right into the trenches of the gaming industry and give you our brutally honest opinions. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and every other platform every single week. If you're listening to this, please make sure to leave us a like or a favorite. Just let us know that you enjoy the show because whether it's your first or your 15th time listening in, you're an honorary member of the battalion. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.